Hello, we're here with Schoelkofts, who are our neighbors that we love so much. Hey, we're going to start off by them introducing themselves and telling their story.
I'm Sean. This is my wife Michelle.
I'm
This
Keegan.
is our son Keegan.
And
our story, I'll start with remembering a time when Keegan was about 2 years old, playing in the driveway, and there was a man on his roof putting up Christmas lights and said, hey, he should come join my karate school. And we're like, okay. When he turned 3, we put him in it, and he's been doing it
For 11 years now.
for 11 years.
My first lesson was actually in Grandmaster Gar's backyard.
That's what I was going to ask, if you remember the lesson that you had in the backyard.
we got a private in the backyard.
It was super fun. I've been hooked on it since.
And I remember going into school and just the atmosphere of everything there. I remember when he had his first couple lessons, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, why am I putting him in this? And there was a mother that was there that went through what I went through. She says, it'll be okay. When he gets his next belt, it'll be okay. And I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, yes, trust me. And sure enough, everything was okay. And then I found myself telling another mom that one day when her white belt was just jumping around, like, it'll be okay. I was there.
I think that's an example of the one family, one team.
Yes,
Everybody
yes.
kinda
Everybody's there to support
encourages
each
each
other.
other.
Exactly.
And I wasn't exactly making it the easiest. During class, I would run in a corner and hide because I was so shy. I didn't want to do it. But I definitely did not make it the easiest to handle. So.
And then I remember at a belt graduation, when Keegan was getting his, I think his purple belt at this time, Master Cody had approached Sean and said, hey, you know, if you and your wife wants to join now, y'all would probably graduate and get your black belts together. And Sean kind of sparked something in him, and he brought it to me. And I was like, at first I was kind of eerie, and he's like, well, I'm gonna do it whether you want to or not. And I'm like, man, I don't want to be the only one not doing it. Oh well, at least I'll get a good workout out of it or something.
Yeah.
And so we did it together, and we set on this journey together to do it together. And I feel it's great because, you know, so many times when families have kids doing one thing, parents doing another thing, and everybody's just so separated all the time, this gives us a chance that we have one common ground, that we come together at this time, and we're always doing something together with this.
That's cool. And what are y'all doing now? Y'all testing for?
Third
Our
degree.
third degree black belts. Yes.
Oh, we're gonna be classic third degrees. I mean, it's gonna be awesome.
I can't believe I'm testing for my 3rd degree already, because I remember a time, it was probably in phase 3, I just started going to be a Christian, and the homework load is intense. Like, I was not used to it. And then I had curriculum class and then black belt training, and so I was just like, I can't do this, I want to quit karate. They're like, you can do whatever after your black belt, but once you get your black belt, you can choose to do karate or you can do something else. I got my black belt, and I was just like, all right, I'm just not going to stop now, because I was like, oh man, I really love this. Like, I didn't realize how much I loved it until black belt. So it's crazy to think that I'm already at 3rd degree.
Well, as you know now, looking back on it, black belt is just the beginning.
Oh
That
yeah,
was definitely the beginning.
exactly.
You know, it's like it means you're good at the basics, basically.
Yes.
Because I remember, you know, being working as much as we have to work, it's very difficult to, you know, it's not like you're in school and that's all you have to do is school and karate. So you can spend a lot of time remembering things and memorizing things that you just flat out can't do as an adult when you're working too. You know, it's very difficult to memorize all the katas, all the kicking combinations, the boxing combinations. So here now as a 3rd degree, I would suggest now that I probably have it down where I really felt like I should have had it when I was 1st degree. However, my vision of a 1st degree when I was a white belt was what I envisioned a 10th degree now. So, you know, when I got the black belt, I was like, oh, I'm a black belt, I really don't feel much different. but really, the black belt is really just the new white belt, and now you get to refine all the skills.
That's right.
And then really, you know, and then you learn as you grow in the martial art is how to put yourself in a better position to be able to be more at peace with everything else, and you don't have to be so flustered, so then you can really focus on your art, you know. I mean, it was so funny. We just got done with second degree, 2017, and then Harvey came. And it was so hilarious because I remember looking at you and I said, oh my gosh, this is BBC 2.0.
I remember that.
Because really, you know, honestly, I don't believe that I could have handled the experience. I mean, granted, I was pretty spazzed that night.
Right.
But overall, I don't think I could handle that experience had we not gone through all the training that we've gone. There was a lot of the principles of what we've gone through in martial arts
crap, wasn't it?
that I was able to take with me in everything that we had to do.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, what, a year and a half it was the recovery from that. And everything that we learned in the martial arts, a lot of it was applied to that.
Yeah. So if you don't know, BBC stands for Black Belt Candidate, and that was they had just finished that before Harvey. And we all experienced that together as neighbors. We got to go next door to our neighbor's house and
camp out,
run to safety.
Yeah. I definitely think that if I hadn't gone through black belt training literally right before that, I don't think I could have handled Harvey. And I still had a really hard time handling Harvey. But all these principles that I've learned over the 11 years doing karate, like I just think about it and I'm like, well, it's helped me with school, it's helped me with life. Like for school, I'm just proactive, like the 7 habits. I'm thinking proactively, I'm beginning with it in mind. Like I'm already thinking about college. I'm thinking about, all right, what kind of stuff am I gonna do? What kind of school supplies do I need? What do I need to be able to do good in sophomore year? And then this year, one of the main focuses was find the good. And so I look back on it and I was like, I can look at Harvey as a bad experience. I can say, well, I had to stay in a trailer for 9 months, or well, I had to do this, or well, I had to adjust my whole life because of this. Or I can say, well, this made me a better person. Like I learned to not take things for granted. I learned to be like water and adapt. So I definitely think martial arts has helped me in all aspects of my life.
Oh, you definitely learned to be like water.
He's very proactive. He's already talking about testing for his 4th, and we haven't even finished testing for our 3rd yet.
Well, I also want to say this. I've watched you grow from that little 2-year-old that you were to now, and I remember a time when you asked me to mentor you in the Word, and I think what I see that you're doing is daily you're sending out your devotional, your scripture, and I look forward to it. And I think it's blessing a lot of people, and I think it's a neat commitment that you have that you're doing consistently, and so I think that we need to know that our people know that as great as martial arts is, without God, it's nothing.
Exactly.
So with God and martial arts, it's pretty cool, you know, especially when we're doing it to His glory.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes.
So,
And there's so many things that we do. I cannot tell you how many times I'm talking to my customers. And yeah, just the other day I was talking to one of my customers, a restaurant owner, and I said, have you ever heard of Hick's Law?
so go ahead and tell them what you do so that in
So
case somebody doesn't know.
I do media production and website design, trade show design and construction, but a lot of website design and video production. And a lot of those customers are restaurants. And we've been really busy with the changing and with the environment right now as it is, because their daily model changes on a daily basis because of all the things that are happening during the 2020 events. But the thing is, we were talking about menu. Well, we were talking about Hick's Law, and that Hick's Law is just the amount of time that it takes you to make a decision based on the options that you have. So, you know, if you have your options laid out and you have them organized, then you can quickly make your decision of what you're going to do in a self-defense situation.
Right.
But it's so crazy because Hick's Law can apply to a lot of things. And now as a consumer, the Hick's Law, how long I take to choose what I'm going to eat doesn't make a big difference. But as a business owner and a restaurant owner, Hick's Law is pretty important because that can really increase your sales. Because the more organized you have your menu in a way that you can really decide, you get your customers to be able to quickly decide what they want, not pressure them, but get them to understand the menu quickly, make the decision what they want to eat, get their order turned in, get them out, feed them, and have them enjoy their meal and turn the tables. It's more profitable. So it was so funny because I was like, you know, here it is. We're talking about self-defense and martial arts,
Right.
And I was able to translate that into becoming more profitable in your business.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's a great trait that you have there, Sean, that, you know, and I think we all prosper more by applying it and looking for those principles that apply in all aspects of your life. And I love that, you know, it's an action philosophy.
Yeah.
It's not about just a philosophy of knowing, it's about doing. And like Keegan said, being proactive and having goals and all that.
It's just a way of life.
Yeah.
For me, I feel this is just a way of life for me, you know, whether it's martial arts, and, you know, I learned a lot of everything I learned about the Word of God through my martial arts training the last 9 years. You know, I mean, not that I wasn't, you know, of God before this, but I've learned a lot more, and every season is just learning more, you know, and it just becomes a way of life for me. I mean, people ask me like, why do you do it? And I'm just like, because this is my life, you know, this is just what we do, you know, so yeah.
Yeah, it's really affected me in ways that like I will prolong, it will like last in my life. Because recently I showed my friend my 2nd degree interview, and then I looked at my 1st degree interview, and I was like, okay, so, because I've been trying to learn more about leadership this test, I've been thinking about, all right, how can I be a leader? And I was like, I don't think I could have been a leader those tests. So, and then I looked at, okay, 2nd degree, and then after that, towards 3rd degree, I was like, I really noticed a difference in myself in the years between 2nd and 3rd degree, whether that was physical or mental or spiritual. So, physical aspect, I mean, this year, I was like, I'm in the best shape of my life. I don't want to lose that. So as hard as it was to convince myself to do it, I joined cross country during this summer. I was like, all right, I know I'm going to want to quit. I know I'm not going to want to do it. I know I'm going to be tired, but I need to push through it because I know it's the best thing for me in the long run. I know I need to do this throughout the year. So I did it and I got used to it. But then the mental side too, I've just been thinking about finding the good, and I've noticed I've also been in a better mood lately, even through all of this quarantine and stay at home. Like during the school year, I was kind of sad because I didn't get to see my friends, but I've really been applying all these principles, and I've really been using it in my life, and it's made me a better person.
Well, that's great. Good job.
Good. Very good.
So, anything else?
PMA leads the way.
PMA.
That's my
leads the way.
PMA leads the
So
way.
you guys, you do the premier martial arts. You also do Krav.
We do.
You've done some small circle.
Yes.
Anything you want to say about that?
You know, as far as this program is concerned, what I really take from this, or what I not take, but what I would really like to share with people is, you know, a lot of times I explain an analogy of God talking to us, right? You know, there's satellites out there, and they're constantly streaming information down to the satellite dishes, right? But if you don't have that satellite dish up, you're not going to receive it. It's there. You can't say it's not there, right? Elon Musk guarantees they're going to be there now, right? Thousands of them, as a matter of fact, right? But you still have to be able to receive the information.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to receive it, you're not going to benefit from it. Well, it's just that with God's word, I believe He is sending us messages on a daily basis. And when we ask for that, you know, He really zeroes in. But you have to be willing to receive it.
Yeah,
And I feel like that your program, your school, with PMA and all the stuff that you put into it, there is so much to be received. The question is, are you willing to receive it? So if you come in, you can make as much or as little of this experience as possible.
Yeah.
And if you're really willing to receive it, you can become the best black belt you can possibly be. Because I mean, I've heard from other people that, you know, other experiences didn't even come close, and they've experienced both. You know, I mean, there's so much diversity. You know, in normal black belt tests, I'm going to say normal just because previous, when we had the ability to do a lot of these things, we're able to really bring in, or you were able to really bring in all different types of people from all over the place to be able to offer all these different styles of arts,
Right.
you know? And even with a small circle, you got Grandmaster Leon J, and then you had Grandmaster Remy Priestess, and, you know, Yes, Grandmaster Higginbotham and Ken Brandon, right?
It's totally
Amazing.
been a big part of the blessings of our school is being world-class instructors, masters, grandmasters from all over the world, and that started early on.
That's
On.
super cool.
So-
And it's like if people are willing to take
Very blessed.
advantage of these things and really receive them,
Right, I think
It's
people
amazing.
have to become aware of it. They don't know what's available, take some things for granted until they wake up one day and say, whoa. this
well,
is
I'm here to
bigger than I
tell
thought."
you it's available, so be aware because it is amazing. There are so many opportunities at this school to take advantage of and really benefit from this, and then share that and send it out to others.
Yeah.
So
After my first degree test, I was really questioning whether I wanted to do this again because I found a love for it after my first degree test, but like right after graduation, I was like, okay, do I want to do this again? Do I want to get into something at school? So I was like, all right, what's one more test? I'll do it again, see if I like it more. Well, I got into other programs while I was waiting, and I was like, this is really fun. I really like this. And then I found out, oh, there's no curriculum class during BBC, and I was like, I like that. But I definitely learned a lot from responsibility and keeping yourself accountable, because after your black belt, you really don't have curriculum training or curriculum class. They don't hold you to that. And so you really gotta think to yourself, all right, am I gonna do this? I need to do this. But it definitely was less stressful on me because I didn't have as many curriculum classes, but I really found a love for it after black belt.
Great. All right, anything else?
I know some things I do tell people, like I push a lot of at work, especially with the women, like the ladies self-defense class that you have, and you know, and the way I explain to them, like, you know, Grandmaster Garza, he has, you know, not only does he have the love for the sport, but he has the love for the women and just protecting himself, not love for women, but love for women, knowing how to protect himself. Let me correct Let me change that. No, but your love for human and your love for all of us. I mean, I see it when we just are all engaged. You just light up and you just have the love for everybody, and you just want to equip everybody with the knowledge of how to defend yourself. And I said, you know, his big thing is women's self-defense, and he offers these classes, and
he's a sheepdog.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
You know.
sheepdog in training, never wolves. You know, I grew up around seeing some of that early on in my life, and I just made a commitment that I mean, it just gave me a heart for women and children. I wanted women and children to
Right.
be protected, so it gave me a chance to do that. So that's what,
That was what I was trying to say right there. Your love for women and children protecting
right,
themselves.
protecting them, and children too. I mean, it's like, you know, I saw a lot of things done well when I was a kid, but I also saw some things that weren't so good. And fortunately, God got a hold of me, got my heart, and I committed it to Him to do good things. It's called a transitional figure. If you ever heard of that, it's like where you flip the negative to a positive and you do good instead of repeating that, whatever that fault is.
Well, what I love about the program is it's not only about the physical self-defense, but with all the principles, you're also able to help people to be able to defend themselves against the ultimate evil of the world, which is not just physical, but also spiritual.
Right.
And the spiritual warfare that goes on, it's amazing. Like, it's crazy, right? So many of the principles, just, you know, like,
Biblical principles.
yeah, what is that one? It's funny when I'm sitting here trying to think of it, but I really love the book. It's about being offended.
Beta
the Beta
Satan.
The
Satan.
Bait of Satan, that book right there.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember the name of it, but I remember the principles of it. You know,
Yeah.
so many people get offended, but really, it's Satan's always trying to cause us to get offended. He
Right.
wants us to get offended.
Yeah.
So these principles are so great to be able to protect the women and children and really everybody.
So you bring that up, the Proving Ground 2.0, the seventh test is the test of offense, not getting
Oh
offended.
yeah, that's so powerful.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Yeah. Well, I think we can close it up now. Huh?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Enjoyed having you guys with us. I
Thank
know
you for having
everybody's
us.
going to
Thanks for
enjoy
having
your
us.
story. We've been really enjoying all of the family stories that we've been able to share. And so if you are a family and I haven't asked you yet, I'm coming. Hi.